Welcome into another edition of the Nittany Pod. I am AP. They are Alex and TK. And Penn State coming in off of their most dominant win in the James Franklin tenure. Didn't start out
Really?
that way. Yeah,
That's cool.
absolutely. In just about every statistical category, it was their most dominant win in James Franklin's tenure. Obviously, did not start that way. Definitely did not feel like it was going to go that way. But when it was all said and done, Penn State ended up setting records. Most yards in a game. I think it was like fifth largest scoring margin ever. Like there was a lot that went down. And yeah, it was just a beautiful, beautiful sight on Saturday. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I was there first Penn State home game of the year, so that was fun. I thought it was good. Like you said, Aaron, I think they need to figure out their somewhat slow starts here,
Definitely.
because they've had them really all three games, I would say. Um, but it was nice to see the defense come out, locked in from the get-go. They were just given nothing. Um, we can be honest and say Kent State is a bad football team, but
Absolutely.
um, Penn State did what it, needed to do. It was more like yesterday was more what I thought we were going to get with Bowling Green too. Workman like, never in doubt. Um, I think the biggest takeaway that I took from that is Drew Allard is still looks just different to me. Looks more comfortable, looks more poised. And then
Yeah.
I really thought that the two scores before the half, where they utilized their timeouts, defense got the ball back, and then they went and scored again, I thought was, you know, just not something we've seen a lot from a James Franklin team, and that was really nice to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It started out really weird. A lot of, by the way, a lot of people that messaged me and thinking I was shitting on Penn State by saying they weren't going to score 30 points in the first quarter. Um, that's just not what Penn State does, bro. Like that's just like I wasn't shitting on Penn State by saying that. Like you saw it play out live. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
in the
we
first
scored seven.
in the first quarter, we had 3 drives, bro.
Yeah,
Like that's not even possible. Like
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like it's not a knock on Penn State, and I would agree. Maybe not the biggest on the scoreboard, but like one of the more dominant games that I've ever seen as a Penn State fan here.
hmm
Great game across the board. I think some people emerged that while obviously it is Kent State, right, and that is valid. Like Alex was saying, they're not a good football team, but Amari Evans having a good day is just good for his confidence. Julian Fleming catching passes, Liam Clifford catching passes, just a lot of confidence building plays. I think for Penn State this weekend, and then the defense was good. I feel like we didn't have any sacks. Now we're like one step away. So maybe against Illinois we'll get home a bunch of times. So we'll see.
They
But yeah,
did get two. Denai and
yeah,
Abdul both killed a quarterback, so that was nice. I mean, obviously, I should say not nice for those quarterbacks, but it was nice to see Abdul and Denai get home on both of those plays.
yeah.
Um,
We have a
I
weird
mean,
weird like
it
we
was
do this often. That's
yeah,
weird.
yeah. It was such a weird vibe, man. Because like defense, they only gave up 67 yards. Granted, it was Kent State, but like they played a really, really good game, especially considering without KJ Winston. And then when you really look at the game tape, they were rotating a lot of guys, a lot of young guys early and often. So for them to only give up 67 yards as a total, that's really, really good. I think really the only thing to really complain about for the defense is that tackling, man. You got to clean up the tackling. There were way too many tackles being broken, it felt like. So definitely got to get that cleaned up. But I mean, aside from that, the defense seemed fine, in my opinion. Like I said, Abdul and Denai both got home. Um, both ended up injuring a quarterback, which I know TK you're always really calling for, but
I mean, it's
I don't
just
know.
be physical. I mean, it's not a, oh, I hope we ruin his career, or
Right, yeah.
what happened to Rising type deal. It's just you just be physical. Like, I mean, everybody else, these other top teams are extremely physical week in and week out. So like for me, Penn State, like, yeah, like when you get licks at the quarterback, like, I mean, make them count. Like even like today, like I was watching Micah Parsons had like a free lick on Lamar Jackson. Like it's physical, man. Like he's not just wrapping them up and taking, like he's swatting. Like it's physical, bro. That's what I think Penn State needs to be. They have the players to do that. I am thinking from what we saw that they are going to try and just make Reed do what Winston did.
I think they're really going to try to get Lane up to speed as fast as they can to replace Winston so Reed can stay down. Because he was playing back there a lot on Saturday, and he played really, really well. So if he's able to keep displaying that, we're going to see Reed's position by the end of the season not change much from what it was against West Virginia.
Big test. I mean, big test for him this weekend.
Huge test.
Big test for the whole defense this weekend. It's like I saw the line came out 17.5. I don't bet against Penn State. I just don't do that. But that just seems ridiculous. But maybe they know something I don't. Maybe, Nebraska is not who people thought they were, and obviously the Kansas win doesn't look as good now. But they have two capable receivers. I know one of them got hurt last week at Illinois, and we, as far as outside, we love to play man-to-man. So big weekend, and obviously heavy RPO, which is so frustrating to watch again. So big weekend for the defense this weekend.
Yeah, Tom definitely switched it up. A lot of single high safeties all day yesterday. Well, I shouldn't say all day, but a lot of the day yesterday. Yeah, it was impressive. I think I saw Penn State scored 7 touchdowns to 7 different people. Shout out Tyler Warren for throwing a touchdown pass to Nick Singleton. Didn't see that coming at all.
Don't want to see it again.
No, but it was unique.
Yeah, it wasn't a pretty pass, but it was a cool play.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're gonna try and see how it works, like try it that game, right? Like, don't pull that out against OSU, in a critical spot.
And it worked, so it's fun to talk about now.
I do want to say or point out, and Saban actually said this, which is very true. And I know, we're in those chats and talking about the play selection, specifically Tyler Warren throwing a pass or Bo Prabula coming in and doing something. And what Saban said is really true, even though in the moment it can be really frustrating. And he was like, you only get a certain allotted amount of time each week to be with the team and go over formations, what they could see, plays they could see out of these formations. And he was like, look, it might look dumb in the moment. Like it might not amount to anything on that play. But at the end of the day, all they're doing is making you have to look at one extra step on that play. Right. And you don't know how much allotment of time it takes for them to understand that. And I'm thinking, and we've seen that same, the fake jet, like seam route to Warren, right? We've seen that play like 5 times. It's probably going for a touchdown 4 times. And the reason I feel like it's so confusing is we haven't even seen 2 or 3 of the outcomes that can come from that play.
Oh, there's so many different things that can happen.
But he could hand it off. The flat is open when he doesn't hand it off. The corner route is open if he doesn't throw it up the seam, and the seam is there. So if there's only so much time allotted each week for them to look at these positions.
That play puts that side of the field in such a bind. It's incredible.
The corners, specifically.
Yeah. And even if there's a safety there, I feel like they get confused at times. But
it really is a guessing game.
I mean, it is money. It seems like right now.
If he has time and the guy guesses wrong, it's a touchdown.
Right.
And it's like, oh, well, he went here, I'm going here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As simple as that.
Yeah, and I want to talk about, Julian Fleming, welcome to the party. The throw from Drew to him over the middle for, I don't even know what it went for, but 25 plus yards on a rope. Split in 2 defenders. That's a Sunday throw. We didn't see that last year from Drew, and we're seeing it a little bit more consistently this year. It's fun to watch. Currently it is really fun to watch Drew play quarterback. I think he's doing it really well right now.
Fun to watch the offense as a whole.
Absolutely. Yeah.
News today: Penn State top 10 total defense again, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State top 8 total offense in the country.
That's a beautiful thing.
It has been a long time.
Yeah, they haven't played the best, obviously. They haven't played the best teams, obviously. But nobody has. Tennessee.
You play Tennessee, who's in front of you.
A huge bump for dismantling Kent State 72-0. And then Penn State, beats them 56-0. And they're like, oh, well, it's only 56 points. But then it's like, well, the point differential and yardage differential is actually insane. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it doesn't look like it from looking at the box score. Well, actually, from the box score, it probably does. Like, Penn State actually dominated that game more than Tennessee dominated Kent
Yes.
State, which is actually
720 yards to 67. Penn State's biggest yard differential ever
yeah.
in the history of the program. Most first downs ever gained. Like I said, James Franklin's biggest score margin. I mean, it was just an absolute fun show to watch, especially from the end of the second quarter on.
The part that's nice about this offense right now is, and hopefully it continues as we continue to face better defenses. Illinois' defense is no joke. They're pretty decent.
Yeah,
But
they are.
But right now, it really does seem like maybe beyond like Tyler or Nick and Katron, it seems like we get somebody else that kind of steps up. Liam Clifford showed up on Saturday. Julian Fleming showed up on Saturday.
First career touchdown for Liam.
Trey Wallace had one of the better games I've seen from a Penn State wide receiver in a while at West Virginia, and we haven't really heard from him since. Amari Evans continues to push the ball down the field for us.
Yeah.
And is that's a huge thing. And we don't even need to talk about Drew dropping it in the bucket, a cool 60 yards. But that's a big deal. We didn't have that last year. We didn't blow the top off defenses. We've done it all 3 games, at least once.
A couple other things I wanted to mention. 6 different wide receivers caught a pass. A lot of people have been asking for the first couple weeks, where are the receivers at? Well, here they are. You got 6 of them flashed in front of you on Saturday. All of them nice receptions, nice. Drew averaged, I think, 13, 14 yards in the air every throw. So nice getting vertical. Only threw 21 passes, 20 of them in the first half. So he was 1 for 1 in the second half with a bomb of a touchdown. I think that was the one to Amari Evans. But goes for 300 yards, only plays the first half essentially. I mean, just a thing.
Should be a game this weekend where he can continue to put the ball in the air. But we saw, obviously, Raiola have some success against Illinois through the air. So I think Penn State should be able to do that. I think it's just so interesting. And you look around the country, like what happened last weekend with Michigan, or this weekend, I'm sorry, with Michigan and USC. They really just ran the ball. And we had no interest in throwing it. So USC just, pinned the ears back on the run. I don't think teams will be able to do that against Penn State right now. Until proven otherwise, right? If they come out this weekend against Illinois, who has a decent defense and can't throw the ball, then maybe that changes. But for right now, Penn State is able to run the ball, obviously. And they've proven so far that they can throw the ball. So it's interesting to see how the defense has changed for that, because last year nobody respected the pass for Penn State regardless. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops, and we'll get a glimpse this weekend, I think.
It's going to be a really nice test. Illinois, they only gave up 50 yards on the ground. So this is a really, really nice test for our defense, because we know the threat that Illinois brings. We've seen it live a few years ago. Luke Altmaier, he had a really good game. So it's going to be a good test for our defense, but it's really going to be a good test for Drew if he has to shoulder the burden of carrying the offense. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So this one, just to say this, and then I'll let Alex go, obviously. Because I feel like we're going to hear about that a lot. And I'm actually really glad that I'm going to the game. Obviously, it'll be my first game like Alex's last weekend. So I'm excited to be there because I don't want to hear on the broadcast about the 7 or 9 overtime game.
Right. Yeah.
But I will say everyone's going to talk about that this week. And I just can't stress enough how different this going into this game is than where we were going into that game in 2020.
Oh, my God.
Like, her quarterback, no mobility, crushing loss to Iowa, right? It was Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Team was defeated. I believe it was pissing rain, if I remember correctly.
I think for a little bit, yeah.
And it was just so different, and the team was so different. Again, struggling quarterback even when he was healthy. Sean wasn't great in 2021. obviously Illinois had a fantastic defensive line, and they ran 11, 12 personnel. They're not lining up in 12 personnel anymore, to be honest. It's just a different game. Like, and I'm going to get so frustrated hearing about that this week because it's just like, it's just
And
so,
you're going to hear it a lot.
it's just so different. And it's like, it's interesting. As much as I love Pry, I just remember ripping him to shreds the whole week following the game for never making the adjustment to 12 personnel. And it's just interesting. I just want to say that because I know we're going to hear it so much, and I'm so thankful that I will not be watching the broadcast to hear that bullshit on the TV.
I'm pretty jealous of you for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's also going to be a different atmosphere in general. Yeah, we got a 7:30 kick. It's a ranked opponent. James Franklin's going into his post-game press conference calling for whiteout, big long pause, energy. It's going to be different, right? Like I was at the 9 overtime game. By the end of it, it was like a church. Because I think people were so shocked at what they were seeing. It's just going to be different. And watching that Nebraska game, trying to hype our crowd up a little bit here already. Watching that Nebraska game, I saw at least 2 pre-snap penalties for Illinois, and I'm fairly confident Lincoln is not as loud as Beaver Stadium. So, we'll see what happens. But I agree with TK completely. It's a completely different football team. We were coming off a really shitty loss at Iowa too that year.
That team finished 7-5.
Yeah, a disheartening loss at that, right? And it just kind of spiraled with Sean being hurt and everything else. Tons of different circumstances. And
that team couldn't run the ball either.
It
was a struggle running the ball that year.
To be honest, it's not comparable.
No, not at all.
Because Illinois is a completely different team too.
Yeah, they're running spread.
Right.
They're running spread.
Yeah, so. The only thing comparable is the team that you were playing and the location of it. That's it. Maybe the uniforms too, because I think Generations of Greatness uniforms are coming out this weekend. But other than that, completely different game.
I hope Franklin's taking it personal. Like I hope he remembers it. Like I hope he remembers this.
I'm sure he will.
It was homecoming last time.
It was.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope they're saying
Yep.
It was homecoming. They came in here and embarrassed us in 9 overtimes. So it's 7:30, prime time. The crowd is probably going to be a whiteout. It's Sunday. Everyone's already talking about wear white.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whiteout. It's going to be insane in there. It's a top 20 matchup. And thinking deeper down the line, like no matter how you feel about the schedule, Illinois is not a team that you expected to be ranked 20 or 19 when we played them this year.
Right.
It's a ranked win. This is a huge way. It's not being negative when I say this. If you go 10-2, you have a ranked win.
Right.
And you're going to have to have them.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
You're going to have to have them.
Yep.
So this is one of those games where it's just as important as a USC and Ohio State. 100%.
It actually
That's a really good point.
It actually might be in the grand scheme of things, and I'm saying this because
might be bigger.
Well, right, and that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
Because we know, I don't think, and I don't want to really jump this far ahead, but I will for this instance. I don't think any of us sitting here, or the majority of the people listening, or the majority of the fan base for that matter, expects a win when OSU comes to town. And I also think a lot of people are still questioning. I know they got beat by Michigan yesterday.
They did not look great.
But USC is a good football team, and that's not a walk in the park. Can Penn State win that game? Sure they can. But is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. It's going to be our first West Coast trip. Who knows what stupid fucking analytics James has been looking at that for, to figure out how to handle that situation, but I'm sure he has a whole freaking binder for it. So yes, I agree completely with TK that I think it's bigger to get this win. Maybe even, I want to beat USC more than anything and OSU, but in the bigger picture, you got to have this one. You got to have it.
This one to me, you win this one. I want, similar to Alex, I want the USC one more than the Ohio State one. And
I mean, I
What
want both.
if you beat USC, to me, my opinion, you beat USC and Illinois, and then go on to win those games for the playoff, you're locked in.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, for sure.
And at the end of the day, no matter where you sit, which we talked about a couple episodes ago, the 3 different kinds of visuals on what looks good this year, what would be a success, going to the playoff for a team that's never been is a success.
That's priority number 1.
Yeah, so it's a huge game, and I think they should be preparing for it as such. I think they should be locked in, and it is notable AK did have success against Illinois at Kansas as well.
And I think it's fair to say that given what Franklin was already talking about post game, you don't usually hear him move on as quickly as he seemed to move on. It almost makes me wonder: did the staff anyway?
They
Right? They're never going to tell the players this.
Last week.
The staff definitely moved on a little bit already, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
And another quick point on James, I liked hearing the fact that he gets pissed off about penalties. I liked hearing that. You don't hear him talk that way a lot. You don't hear him really put his team down a lot. And I'm not saying he was putting them down, but just holding them a little bit of what sounded like just a little bit of accountability that we can see. You know, it kind of made me smile. Like, hell yeah! Like, it should piss you off. Like, tell us that.
It is.
You don't see him fiery that often. So whenever we do get that out of him, it's always nice to see.
I love that. He was like, it's embarrassing for me. I was like, it is embarrassing for you. Like, thank you. Like, you're voicing it. Like, you are responsible. That is a disciplinary thing. That is correct.
When Javen had those 2 penalties in a row, oh boy,
I love it.
He looked like he was about ready to kill him on TV. Oh my God!
About time.
But you know what? I forget who posted the video on Twitter, but that one penalty from Javen, totally valid. I wouldn't even get mad at him for that. But it's just a principle, man. Yeah, it's just a principle. To
protect your quarterback. But
2 costly penalties
I get why,
in a row. One was 15, one was 10.
I get why Franklin was pissed, and he should have been.
Absolutely. For sure. Is there an outcome of the Illinois game this weekend that makes you a little bit more confident, at least for the USC game?
Yeah, win.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think there's a couple things. Obviously, a win. But look, it's different. Like, Illinois has 2 big receivers, like big body receivers. I think on the front 7, I think we're okay. Like, I think we're going to be okay. Like, whether it's USC, I do think they'll be okay against Illinois. I think Illinois will try and obviously establish the run. But for me, it's the defensive backs. Like, it's not even a question to me. Like, can they hold up? Like, will they be able to hold up? Will Lane be able to step in and continue on what Winston was doing? Will the 2 corners be able to hold up in man against 2 big body corners and not get handsy and hold? Like, those are the things that will be a difference. If they can do that against Illinois' receivers aren't as good as USC's, and that's obvious. But they are still 2 big body receivers and tight end that he's comfortable. When he throws it, he's confident that if he gives them a chance, they're coming down with it. And it's very much like Minnesota with Bateman vibes. Like, that's what I got.
Yeah, I think an outcome that gives me confidence for USC and moving forward would just be, I need this defense to give it. I don't want to say give it to me because that sounds weird, but I need them to perform for me like they did against West Virginia, or they did against
getting worse,
or they did against Kent State again, right? So in other words, 10 points, 17 points, right? Offense goes out and puts up 35, 40. I think if you get above the 30 mark, I think we're going to come in here and say the offense played well on Sunday. And I think if we hold them to 17 or less, we're going to come in here and say the defense played well too. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Get rid of the penalties. They got to get cleaned up. You can't You can't give Ohio State's, you can't give USC's, you can't, Michigan's, whoever. You can't give them 1st and 5s. You can't take 15-yard unsportsmanlike. You can't do it, right? It's going to hurt you at some point. It hasn't yet. It will.
If Penn State can come out and shut down that passing attack for Illinois on Saturday, I'm going to feel a lot more confident because Luke Altmaier, he's playing really confident this year. He's an experienced quarterback. He looked really good against Nebraska. He had 4 touchdowns. I think he only had 5 incompletions in the game. So, and he's also a running threat as well. So this is going to be a test for the entire defense. So if they can come out and shut down that Illinois offense, I'm going to feel really confident.
I also want to add on the other side of the ball, I think it's, is it safe to say that this is probably the best defense we're going up against this year so far? If Penn State still has the ability to stretch the field with a guy like Amari or Julian or I don't care whoever, if Penn State has the ability to stretch the field and be explosive, I think that's a really good sign too, because we had the ability last year to put together drives, 12, 13 plays. I think we all remember that Iowa game last year. We had ridiculously long drives, but could never get that big play. So if I can see that this coming week too, I think that will give me confidence moving forward as well as we continue to face better defenses.
Guys, give me your score predictions.
I'll go 31-20 Penn State.
What? No.
How do you not know?
I'm gonna say 34-24.
What? You just said 31-17.
No, I'm saying if it's below 17, I said if it's below 17 points or at 17 points, I think the defense would have played well. I didn't say that was my prediction.
34-24, is that what you said?
Right, so I'm saying the defense ain't going to play that well.
That's a lot of points, bro.
I know. We gave up a lot of points at Bowling Green, too. I'm not sold on this defense yet.
Bowling, it's set at 47.5.
Yeah, I'll stick with it. That's fine.
Bowling, also, shout out Bowling Green, giving Texas A&M a scare. All right?
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, Bowling Green is a respectable program. All right?
Yeah.
They're a respectable program, top 20 offense in the country, Bowling Green. Respect that. I don't know if that's true.
I'm going 30-21. Nice, respectable cushion. Hit the 30-point mark. Come out there with a comfortable win.
We're all on the over.
That's fine.
The point spread?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it has the possibility of being a game like that, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
Because like I said, I'm not sold on our defense, and I also trust Kodolnicki to do his thing.
Agreed. Should be all right. All right, let's move on. College football week 4 results. It was an all right week. West Virginia, they got themselves back in the win column. Missouri, they went to double overtime with Vanderbilt. That was definitely interesting.
Oh.
That afternoon window served up some interesting games. That noon slot definitely sucked, but yeah, absolute garbage. So was the night slot, actually. But Missouri going to double overtime, that was actually pretty fun.
Unfortunately, I did fall to 1-2. Or I'm sorry, I believe is it 1-2 or 1-3? My lock of the weeks are not locks right now.
Hit the struggle bus.
In fact, there could be
you should probably start fading.
TK.
Yeah,
there could be a hashtag fade TK trend coming soon. So I don't know. We got to get back on track this week. But shit's not looking good over here.
You are 1-3.
You didn't even mention the biggest shock. How in the world did James Madison drop 70 on North Carolina?
Yeah, what the hell? Program. That game was absolutely insane. 124 points or 120 points.
70-50. Oh, and for any USC fans that are probably not listening, just welcome to the Big Ten. Glad you got a dose of what Michigan has done to everybody the last 2 years, and that's
Yeah,
just pounded down
famously to
your throat.
us.
Just pounded
Famously to
down your
us, now
throat.
they have a taste of our medicine.
Just
Michigan
pounded
threw
down
for
your.
this was
32 yards and still won.
this is worse than what happened to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Oh my God. Yeah.
thank you for
They-
taking that down.
they have that
Yeah.
uncanny
really appreciate
ability.
it.
They have the uncanny ability to just lean on that running game whatever they want, and it usually works. It's impressive.
Hey, shout out to Utah giving me a huge win over you guys. I really appreciate it, even without Cam Rising. So, really, really nice.
No, he played.
Yeah.
He went out though, because he
Did he?
didn't. Yeah, he was not playing when I was watching. So
All right,
he might have
Oh.
played, but he was not playing when I watched, which was like
I'd like
the whole second
to.
half.
So Cam Rising did play in the game though.
I have no idea if he
I was
got the
drunk
start
in
or
lot.
not. He was a game time
I was-
decision,
I was
gotta go
drunk in
back.
lot 34, so I can't help you.
but I tuned in.
This is big news.
I tuned in when I think it was 3-0, and Cam Rising was not playing, and he didn't play at all when I was watching. I had that game.
Cam
on pretty
Rising
much
did
the
not
rest of the
play.
time. Yeah.
So the lock of the week stands as a loss.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. The Colorado game. Did you guys watch that? Did you guys see how that ended?
Yeah,
No.
Holy
asleep.
hell,
bro.
man!
If you see Colorado, listen. If you're about to go to bed and you see Colorado's on TV,
You
if
need to
they're
stay
losing
up.
by less than 10, you need to hammer Colorado money line, and you need to hammer Shador 300+ yards. It's free
Yeah.
cash.
It's
Like
insane.
I know obviously I'm not doing the best on the lock of the week, but when it comes to Colorado, I'm hammering. I'm hammering the live money line. Hammering.
Yeah, they're pretty good for that.
Yeah, I didn't see the end of it.
It's a Hail
Oh
Mary,
my
Alex.
God, it was
You're not a
it was
football fan.
crazy. It was crazy.
Also,
All right, let's move on.
Nobody's
Yeah, go ahead.
everyone's fucking talking about that play. Bro, I don't think we're understanding that this guy rolled to his left under duress, was about to get rocked, and threw an absolute seed on a line 50 fucking yards to where only his guy could get it.
Yeah,
The throw is
it was
insane.
just crazy, bro. Like,
The throw is insane.
Alex, I know you can't
Like-
stand him, but damn.
Why'd they storm the field?
Bro,
It's
It was
Colorado,
Baylor.
bro. Bro, it's Colorado. They haven't had much to be excited about over their program's history.
Why are you so pressed about Colorado?
I'm just asking, why they stormed the field for beating Baylor.
You're
I'm
hating.
just
That's what you're doing.
I'm wondering.
A Colorado top 25 TK poll, by the way.
I mean, it's a curiosity
3-1.
question. And this isn't me hating on Colorado. This is me hating on Colorado's fan base.
You're a hater. So am I.
I am a
Fan
Colorado
base that
hater.
was
That's fine. I'll
created a
admit
couple
that.
years ago. I'll call it out.
And what are we picking next week, man?
Yeah, let's move on to it. Week
Harper.
5 picks. Washington, Rutgers. Let's go into some conference play here. There really isn't a ton of huge games that week, but Washington goes out to New Jersey. TK, you said Rutgers? Yeah.
Rutgers.
Give me the Scarlet Knights. Louisville at Notre Dame. Give me the Cardinals.
Oh,
Notre
no.
Dame.
Notre Dame still doesn't look great. I saw they can't put up points right now.
Notre Dame.
No, except unless you're Purdue. TK says Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
And the game of the week, undoubtedly Georgia, Alabama.
Fuck.
Already?
Yeah. Welcome to the
I feel like that
SEC.
shouldn't be till like SEC championship week.
Usually isn't. They typically don't play during
Where's
the
it
regular
at?
season, but it's at Alabama.
Where's it at? Give me Bama.
I don't know.
That's a tough one, dude. That's tough. Flip a quarter. Same thing.
Dude, DeBoer's first big one, too.
Mm.
But it's at home. That's helpful.
Give me Alabama, bro.
Attaboy.
Thinking Bama. I'm going
Give
Georgia,
me
bro.
Alabama.
I cannot bet against Kirby Smart. Kalen DeBoer is a great coach, but give me Kirby Smart. He's still the king of college football. I'm betting on this guy to get it done.
Is he?
Yeah,
Is he?
yeah.
Kalen DeBoer was in the national championship.
Kirby's won 2 of
I didn't
them.
see Kirby. I didn't see Kirby there. I'm just saying. We're going on recent history.
Alex, just because Kirby didn't win it last year doesn't mean he's not the best coach.
He wasn't even in it. Can't win it if you're not in it.
Shut the fuck up.
All right. Whether you like it or not.
This is insane.
I hate to fucking do this because I got some of my boys over there that we talk to, Aaron, on a regular basis are Bama fans. But I feel like it's only right. To put Alabama plus 2.5 as the lock.
The lock. Wow.
Plus 2.5.
Wow.
I mean, I could see that.
Going with him and he's going with the lock.
Locked in.
So that means
I'm not
Georgia is
rethinking it.
absolutely
I think Bama
winning.
will win.
So thank you, TK. I appreciate it. That it means Georgia is absolutely winning. Anything else you want to talk about for Illinois week? White out. Make sure you wear white if you're going to the game.
Yep. Simple. You don't wear white, you get your ass kicked. It's that simple. We'll be walking around the tailgate lots, belt to ass if you're not wearing white.
And if you work at the bookstore, make sure you have fucking white ponchos.
It's not going to rain.
Just in case it
rains.
Just in case.
Escalators are up and running.
I won't be getting on them.
It's a lot. Why?
No, bro.
You scared, bro?
I'm not getting on the escalator in fucking Beaver Stadium, bro. There's no fucking way.
They're new.
I don't give a fuck. The stadium's not. It's not.
Yo,
it's renovated.
Dude. You're gonna be impressed. Bro. It got painted.
It got a new video board.
I love the ribbons. I think they add to it. There's a ribbon.
Makes it look even bigger.
The ribbon down on the field in the north end zone is hard to read, at least from where I sit. What else? The concourse is definitely wider.
We fixed the sound.
Sound was fine. I don't really listen to the sound.
What?
I mean, like, the PA announcers are like background noise to me. Like, I don't. Like, do you actually sit there? Wait, hold on. Do you actually sit there at a football game and. Wait, stop.
The music and shit.
Yeah, that's fine. It didn't sound any different, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, that's not good, because that means it's
not
fucking
good.
Crackling and shit.
Yeah. I guess they didn't. That wasn't part of the renovation yet, TK. Yeah, that wasn't part of the renovation yet.
Are the troughs still there?
Yes, at least in the
some of them.
At least in the restroom I was in. Yes.
What's the beer prices looking like this season?
$11.
Not bad.
$11.
That's what they were last
year. Any liquor in there?
Oh,
any liquor in there?
Yo,
no liquor.
Boys, I wanted to talk about this on this week's episode. What do you think of Tennessee possibly kicking around the idea of raising their ticket prices for NIL purposes? Obviously, it's not something that can go into effect yet because of the revenue sharing not being done yet. But they're looking at increasing their ticket prices 10% for NIL.
I think we should do the same thing. It would force everybody who wants to continue going to the games and continue having season tickets to help NIL. I think that's perfect.
Until they just don't renew them. I think it's really fine. Happen? For some, sure.
Who's not renewing, Alex?
Oh, no. Your dude just didn't renew it because of the bubble being built in his parking spot.
Yeah. He got fucked on the parking. No, it's different.
Yeah, but it's similar, right? It's still increased cost. Anyway,
no, bro.
I don't think it's a bad thing. Let's put it that way. I'm still more excited about just getting to the revenue share basis of this.
You get a piece of that?
No, I just don't think it should be. I don't think it should be put in the fans. I don't think it should be put in the fans to support NIL. These schools make a lot of money. These schools make a lot of money, and I know they have a lot of costs too, which is fine. But The onus should be on them, not us.
I
As
actually
soon
think you
as-
should be donating half your salary, Alex.
I
Half of
agree.
it.
You're not donating
You just
it.
don't
Yeah.
want. Just don't want me to have a house.
You have enough money, bro. You're rich.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you talking about? Brandon Nimmo sucks, by the way. Yo, TK, are you
Yeah.
excited for Red October?
Yeah, I am. I will be taking Kyle Schwarber anytime home run the first game in October. So, yeah, I mean, Phillies, obviously, they'll be good till the World Series and they'll choke there. But,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, let's just get there first, all right?
Yeah.
Unless you play the Yankees, then it's a free one.
Listeners, really appreciate you guys tuning in every week. Make sure that you are subscribed to our podcast on YouTube. Make sure you're liking it on Spotify. Anywhere you can find it, make sure you're liking and subscribing. Really appreciate your support. Make sure you're sharing it with your friends. And we are.